a representation of living in the present, suspended between the pool of the future and the tug of the past, inspired by Bonnie's grandfather, a blacksmith in Russia in the 1800s, and a composite of the generations that followed. All are connected by a thread to the blacksmith, represented by the black rod forged in Russia, as each generation forges ahead to build and shape new lives. Freedom of religion in America promises Mendel and Rivka, who both arrived from Poland and were introduced by family, a safer, more joyous wedding and life together than they would have ever experienced back home. During the ceremony, the groom places the ring on the bride's right index finger, perhaps because its artery is closest to the heart. Later, she will probably move it to her left ring finger. What could be a more delicious way to enjoy religious freedom in America than sharing cherry cheesecake with synagogue sisterhood friends on Shavuot? On Shavuot, the holiday commemorating the giving of the Torah by God to the Jewish people, it is customary to eat dairy products. Knitting a warm, cozy scarf, Purl remembers stories her grandmother Bub shared while teaching Purl to knit. As a young girl, Bub and her family escaped from Russia, running and hiding at night in the cold, relying on the kindness of strangers. Her family finally arrived in America, the land of the promise, where life was good to them. From a place of comfort, Purl thinks of Bub as she performs tikkun olam, acts of kindness to help repair the world. Soon, her scarf will go to warm a cold, homeless person in Purl's community. Shabbat Menuchah, Sabbath rest, is soaking up the beauty and tranquility of an early spring Saturday Sabbath afternoon outside without fear. She picnics on bagels, gefilte fish with horseradish, and challah, all introduced to America in the late 1800s, early 1900s by her Eastern European, Ashkenazi Jewish ancestors. In the morning, she participated in her first Shabbasanza service at the synagogue, preparing her mind and body for Shabbat with Jewish inspirational yoga and mindfulness meditation. Perhaps she will go again. Water has a special place in the Jewish tradition and plays a major role in many stories of the Bible. Jews are very involved in environmentalism as a dimension of justice and concern for the future of our country, promoting responsible stewardship of the land in ways that harken back to Jewish agricultural values from biblical times. Jews are a people who came from the desert. This shadow box symbolizes the hardships many had to face when leaving the comfort of their garden home and traveling to unknown conditions. They left the garden when their eyes were opened to the evil and sin around them. The biblical symbol of Judaism. Jewish people have suffered anti-Semitism all over the world. One example is this young girl, an immigrant who had to leave Germany with her family and arrived in America. A Hanukkah symbolizing Judah Maccabee and his brothers and father fighting for religious freedom. If I Had a Hammer is a folk song about the hammer of justice, bell of freedom, and love between my brothers and my sisters all over this world. The hand on the globe is American Sign Language for I love you, representing Judy's role as the sibling of a deaf person and interpreter. She shows her respect for deaf people and solidarity with the other. A gift Judy and her sister created for their parents' wedding anniversary. They chose specific colors and stitches to use to best showcase their needlework. Eastern European Jews are Judy's people. Her heritage is Jewish from Dorohoi, Romania, Plunge, Lithuania, and Odessa, Russia. Every person in this country can be both loyal to the United States and be free to practice whatever faith we choose. Yiddish was a common language for many of the Jewish people from countries of Eastern Europe who came to the U.S. in the late 1800s to early 1900s. Although the letter was written from George Washington to the Jews of Newport, Rhode Island, Jews, Muslims, and Christians are all children of the stock of Abraham. Jewish and Muslim artists working together to create a collaborative mosaic. Everything comes together during the grouting process. Spaces are filled in. Each individual part remains special, meaningful, and beautiful. Each person, each piece joins together to make something wonderful, something greater than the hands of one person could accomplish alone. The English translation of the opening chapter of the Holy Quran, also referred to as the essence of the Quran, an essential part of all Muslims who worship, in which they seek Allah's help and blessings. The Whirling Dervish are followers of the 13th century Muslim scholar and poet Jalaluddin Rumi. Whirling is a form of physically active meditation in Sufism. This painting represents a whirling dervish in a trance, praying with his arms open, showing readiness to receive God's beneficence. The Arabic calligraphy in gold is one of the 40 prayers in the Holy Quran. The Islamic definition of justice in the Holy Quran commands mankind to behave in a fair and just manner. In this painting, a quote from the Holy Quran has been translated into English. Allah, God, commands mankind to stand up for justice even if it goes against themselves or their families. Al-Momin means guardian of faith. It is one of the attributes of Allah, God. It is He who guarantees not to treat His creation unjustly, and the one who does not deserve His punishment is safe from it. In this painting, Allah's other attributes are painted around the Holy Kaaba in Arabic. Inspired by the wall built at the U.S. southern border to stop illegal immigration. As a result, people feel frustrated and helpless when trying to enter the U.S. seeking a better life. There is more power in a message when people stand together and voice their opinions to fight for equal rights by telling their stories. Around the world, people are entangled in harsh situations, seeking freedom, equality, and justice, especially minorities. Even though they are struggling, they still never give up hope to live a better life. This piece expresses the emotions one feels when celebrating freedom and liberation from inequality within a work or social setting. It is not easy for anyone struggling in a new country seeking freedom, justice, and equality to assimilate to the new environment. There is constant struggle and search to have a better life. An American Story, Jewish and Muslim Perspectives virtual exhibit funding was provided in part by the following organizations.